All right, mic check 1 2. All right, mic check 1 2. All right, now I can hear myself. If y'all can hear me as well, throw a 7 in the chat for me. A short check in, tap in, let me know. 7 in the chat. All right, good brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, all praises. All right, let's start that back over then. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shah. This your brother Amath. I acquired first name. IQ is all the same. You reached another episode. DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. If you've been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. But if you're not, don't get too close because you might get shot. Shabbat shalom, shalom, peace, good evening, welcome, all that good stuff to the brothers and sisters who's tapping in this evening, man. On the Friday Night Lights, haven't done it in seems like a few weeks or so, maybe longer. I don't know, but appreciate the support, brothers and sisters that's tapping in. If you ain't doing it live, you can catch it tomorrow during the daytime, man. When you done woke up and wipe the coal out your eye and got got your little breakfast on and all that, and tap in with me. All right, but nonetheless, salute to everybody that's gonna be tuning in, tapping in, sharing, liking, and all that other good stuff. Few things we're gonna discuss tonight, man. Obviously, you see the Nigerian bombings held out by Agent Orange as he promised, and like I said, he was going to declare war on blacks and browns. I said that like 2 months ago. May have been a little bit sooner, a little bit less than that. I don't know, but remember when I said that? You got Venezuela on deck, Nigeria. He's already told Colombia they're next. Well, obviously he lied about that because Nigeria was next, but he said Colombia's next. He's starving out Cuba. Haiti is already been starved out and destroyed. Uh, America, we already see what's going on with the migrant situation, and we've already been at war with this nation and our oppressors since the touching down on this continent well over 400 years ago. So, be that as it may, he's holding true to everything that he said he's going to do, right? And we got to take note of that. You see the storms and the tempests, how the Most High is touching this place. I mean, you've got record storms hitting in New York right now. In New Jersey, they got a state of emergency. They're telling people don't go out and drive. California, flash floods, landslides, mudslides, you name it. There was a hurricane in Boyle Heights in East LA that just hit yesterday in California. I mean, all kind of wild, weather anomalies going on right now, and that's only showing you that the judgment of the Lord is slowly but surely touching this place. And people better start taking notice. People better start taking notice, man. I mean, like I said, I don't like talking too much about finances and monetary things, but if you see the weakening of the dollar, the precious metals is going sky high right now. I told some of y'all and spoke on that, and Aladad has spoken on it in times past for years, and try to encourage brothers and sisters to look at alternative currencies. I made mention of it, I think, last week again or 2 weeks ago. Even talked about preparing. And on that same Sabbath, after that Sabbath, San Francisco had power outage. They had a fire at one of their substations. 130,000 people went without power for like 3 days. Same day I said, start preparing and to consider it. Not only that, the flooding that was happening up in the Pacific Northwest and in Washington State. There's you're seeing what's going on with the weather and what's happening, and the grid weakening in various parts of the country. It's time for brothers and sisters, man, to start taking heed. Start taking heed because I've always say, man, oxygen is valuable, man. I need to live. We all do. So we don't want to waste our breath. You dig what I'm saying? Um, so with that being said and understood, let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. If everybody's doing well, man, throw a 7 in the chat, man. Salute to my brothers and sisters, man. Salute to the saints that's popping in. And hopefully everybody's doing well tonight. I'm gonna try to be concise tonight. I didn't want to. I said to myself, I said, you got to work on being more concise and not so long-winded. But I'm subject to the spirit, so that's just how it goes. Bear with me. Bear with me. All right, so let's get right to it. Let me share my screen. Um, we got a few things we gotta wrap a taste about. Let me move this out the way. And let's start off here with your man, Agent Orange. Look at him, grinning cheek to cheek. Got his little broad next to him that he met uh during the Epstein beauty pageant days. Oh yeah, Melania was over there in the little modeling agencies with the Epstein's and the rest of those guys. We talked about it, whatever, 8 months ago, whenever this whole thing was going on with him. But one thing you see right here, and if you notice in the circle, you see now, mind you, um, there's definitely Israelites over there in Nigeria. Our people over there were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. One of the places of our scattering is in Nigeria. You got tribes like the Lemba tribe who connects themselves with Israel. You got the what's the other tribe escaping me right now? The Igbo. Uh, they have drawn their roots to Israel and some to the priesthood. Right. So we know our people are over there. But on a vast majority, a lot of our people that are over there are completely lost. They're caught up in idol worship. They're worshiping and following after white Christianity, just as we see over here in this circle. See that picture right there? See this guy? Yeah, white Jesus. If there ever was such a thing, Cesare Borgia is who they're honoring and worshiping, right? Jesus, I trust in you. And from all accounts, Agent Orange is saying that the persecution of these Christians over there in Nigeria at the hands of the Muslims and ISIS is because of their faith. Now, clearly, we see their faith is being misdirected. They've got the indoctrination of Christianity, white Christianity, colonial Christianity. They don't have the truth. That's where things gonna have to take a U-turn for them, right? But nonetheless, let's see what happened with these strikes. Y'all heard about it. We're just gonna play a little news clip, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more about it. We're gonna look at the scriptures, and then we're gonna see really what's behind this whole thing.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. A live look at the White House this Christmas evening. We are following breaking news from D.C. President Trump announcing that the U.S. has launched airstrikes in Nigeria. This is the post from President Trump on Truth Social just a few minutes ago. He said, "Tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many."
Put a one in the chat if you think Agent Orange really sincerely cares about the Christian faith of these so-called black people over there in Nigeria. If he's really on a religious crusade to stop their persecution, put a one in the chat if you believe this is all sincere, or put a 7 in the chat if you think that there's something more nefarious and more deceitful behind these bombings. If you think he's sincere, you say, hey man, that's a good thing. He should be over there trying to stop the genocide and trying to stop the persecution of the Christians over there at the hands of these scum bucket Muslims. The sand niggas over there. Is he really doing it because, he said himself, I love the Christians. I'm not a Christian, but I love the Christians. Now, what faith is he? Because he's yet to come to the table with it, even though he's got a Trump Bible. He's never declared solidarity with the Christians. He likes the Christians when they can do something for him, like vote for him, like throw a red and white MAGA hat on. When it's advantageous to him, he likes the Christians. But if it's not, you won't hear a peep from him. So it seems like most of y'all are, saying that something ain't right. There's a lack of sincerity with him in this.
Years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay. And tonight, there was. The Department of War executed numerous perfect strikes, as only the United States is capable of doing. Under my leadership, our country will not allow radical Islamic terrorism to prosper. May God bless our military, and Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continues. That was from President Trump, and we also have a reaction to that from defense.
Okay, so let's start here, man. I'm not gonna let that keep droning on because we know this guy. One thing for sure, we're gonna identify. Let's just look at it prophetically. I can say, yeah, we heard this all the time. Good. Then it should constantly be ringing in your ear to know that we constantly need reminders. We need to be repetitive when it comes down to this truth. We walked in that wilderness in circles for 40 years before we got it right. Right? The Most High said, with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people in Isaiah the 28th chapter. So the stammering lips means repetitive. When somebody stutters, they say something over and over again. That's how the Most High says we have to learn this word. So Matthew 24 and verse 6 says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we still see that the spirit of war is in the air. Remember, even Zelensky in Ukraine had a deadline of December 25th, so-called Christmas, to come to the table with a peace agreement. That day has passed, and he's still jockeying for time. I told y'all they were gonna kick the can down the road. Oh, he's on a flight now, going down to Florida to Mar-a-Lago to have a discussion with Trump. He said he's willing to withdraw some troops or something from a particular sector in Ukraine. He's going to withdraw some of the security forces. But as of right now, there's no peace deal on the table. He's only talking to Zelensky. It's not like Russia and the U.S. sitting back waiting for him to make a decision. Let's not forget Russia has to be a part of that discussion as well. So already we've seen the deadline from Thanksgiving done passed. The deadline for Christmas done passed. They had a deadline in the spring when they said if Ukraine don't come to grips and fall back, we're going to withdraw aid and we're walking away. We're going to turn our back from it. Marco Rubio said that. Trump done said that. They're constantly throwing out these false and fake promises of peace and security and safety just for the sake of trying to make it seem like they're trying to work towards ending a war. No, the World War III is in full swing. Thus saith the Lord, right? So getting back over here, so he's initiating another war. Now notice, they've got AFRICOM down there. America's got troops in Africa. Now let's see their reaction. Let's see how the Nigerians are reacting to what happened.
Yesterday around 10:45 p.m., somebody called me to say that something happened in Jabo, very close to our family farm. Items were being removed where this thing fell. Some people thought it was an aircraft that fell down. Glory be to God, there was no loss of life and no loss of property. It's only that the remains of the robberies that happened in farms.
Now, in this particular area, he said, no loss of life. Now, I don't know, if that's just in his area. Obviously, Trump is saying he's taking out the scum with perfect precision strikes and all this other stuff, right? But he said that actually they had debris and stuff blowing up near their family farms, and innocent people almost caught some strays on this.
In the course of trying to fight the terrorists, innocent life could be lost, as that has happened in the past.
If they're intruding without permission, you're intruding by force, so you're not justified. Every country has the liberty of making their own decision.
Oh, okay. So from a couple of the residents there in Nigeria, one says, "Hey, glory be to God, nobody died. They almost knocked down our family farm, and people almost, almost got innocently put to death." Another cat says, "Yeah, you know what? When this happens, innocent lives get lost, and this has happened in the past before." Last guy says, "You got an intrusion. This isn't right. It's not justified." So some of them is all saying, "Hey, this ain't right." Now, on the flip side, you do have some Christians who's like, "Hey, finally, good. We're glad that America's coming in and interceding, helping us on our behalf." So they're kind of split on the U.S.'s involvement in this. Now, let's continue.
Yesterday,
Now you got a Nigerian official. He speaks out, right? And now he's saying that he's not going to um, uh, rule out allowing Trump to bring in American troops. Yusuf Tugger, Nigerian official and a foreign affairs minister, is spoken out saying, "Hey, we're in lockstep with America, and we might just allow them to be boots on the ground and go run rampant in these Nigerian streets." Now let me open this up a little bit. We got to hear from them. Nigerian official refuses to rule out American troops on the ground after working with Trump to bomb ISIS. American troops may be deployed on the ground after the U.S.'s bombing of ISIS targets, a Nigerian official has suggested. The foreign affairs minister said his government had not ruled out working with U.S. servicemen, something Donald Trump has suggested in recent weeks. Yusuf Tugger said the issue would be something for the Nigerian government to consider when asked by CNN about Trump's threats to send in the U.S. military's guns ablazing this week. On Thursday, the Pentagon said that the Nigerian government approved the strikes and collaborated with the U.S. military to carry them out. However, the official also pushed back on Trump's justification for the strikes, which he has said were because ISIS terrorists in Nigeria have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians. So notice, hold on, there's conflicting reasonings behind it. Now, notice it said the Pentagon said the Nigerian government approved the strikes and collaborated with the U.S. military to carry them out. However, this same official pushed back and said, "No, no, no. You're saying this is all because innocent Christians are getting put to death out here, and that ain't what's going on." Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, there's persecutions of Christians in Nigeria, no question. But this guy is obviously knowing that there's a little bit more that meets the eye with this, even though he's compromised in saying that he's willing to allow, and Nigerian government is willing to allow troops on the ground next. Why is he compromised? What's going on here? Tugger rejected the framing of the conflict as a religious one and said the action would show clearly that it is a strike against terrorism and that it is not and that it has not to do with religion, it's to do with protecting Nigerians and innocent lives. So he's saying it's just about terrorism, is not a religious struggle going on. That's from him, right? But notice this. Now he's contradicting what Nigerian officials and governments are putting out, saying that they collaborated with the U.S. He's like, hold on, it wasn't really not on the pretenses of it being, Muslims against Christians. He's like, we're just being this terrorist over here, and we're just trying to get rid of him. But notice here, one thing you do notice is that there's alleged and apparent persecution of Christians in various countries. If Trump is, crusading against ISIS and the persecution and the destruction of innocent Christians, why hasn't he bombed Afghanistan? Why did he withdraw from Afghanistan? Why is he not back over there? How about Somalia, Pakistan, Iran, Syria, Libya, Sudan, Yemen, Algeria, Turkey, Egypt? All of these particular countries have a reputation for persecution of Christians. These are primarily, many of these countries are Muslim dominant, and we don't see You know, with the exception of Yemen, but Yemen is not because of the Christianity; it's because of their allegiances with Hezbollah and Palestine. Those bombings happen because of that. Syria, he's just set an ex-ISIS leader up to be the president over there, and they're still getting unalived over there. The Christians are being unalived over there at the hands of ISIS. And he just got through praising this guy and had him at the White House. Why is he not bombing Syria? Well, he bombed Iran, but did it have anything to do with the Christians? No, it had to do with his allegiance with the small hats. So it's not about Christians, right? It's not about that. Because if he's on this whole campaign, because it's just like when he's saying with Venezuela, oh, I'm campaigning against all the drugs. He's trying to fight all the drug cartels. Ain't did nothing to Mexico, hasn't done anything to China, hasn't done any, I mean, come on. We know that there's more to meets the eye with this, right? Now, why and what could he be looking at? Let's look at this. The list of 20 mineral resources in Nigeria and their locations. Oh, now you get it, huh? Now you're getting it. Okay, look, coal. What's coal good for? Power, generation, cement, steel. You got what? Tin, limestone. Oh, gold. Really? Okay. Iron ore, lead and zinc. What's that good for? Batteries, roofing, alloys. But you know what? Look, all these other ones: gypsum, bitumen. Uh, I don't know how to pronounce these other ones. Baryt, bentonite and clay, salt, talc, granite, gemstones, Caroline phosphate. Oh, here's the big one: lithium. Batteries, EVs, and electronics. Everything that's going on right now is running off of lithium, from the EV cars to the phones to the tablets to the computers to you name it. Lithium is a valuable commodity that they've got these lithium mines going on over there in Africa. They, constantly going through there, pillaging those places. So just for the minerals alone, because you know what ends up happening is, like the scriptures say, Sirach 13, we're gonna read 4. If thou be for his prophet, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. This is why you don't hear about any attacks on Egypt. You don't hear nothing about no attacks going on in Syria, Iran, Pakistan, none of those other countries that are allegedly attacking and persecuting poor innocent Christians, as he's acting like he's on this big old campaign to try to stop them from being persecuted and killed. No, he don't give a damn about their faith. He could care less about the Bible. He could care less about Christ. No, what he's looking at is opportunity. Since he's been in office, he's been looking for minerals, resources. He's been looking to try to bring back the glory of America and bring back the economic prosperity that they once had. Remember, he said he's trying to make America affordable again, and he's doing terrible at that right now. Terrible. So when he backed down Ukraine and told them and shook them down and said, look, if you want our help, you got to sign this $500 billion minerals deal. Guess what? They broke down and they signed that deal. He got the minerals from Ukraine. See, one thing we got to keep it real too is Russia is I believe they're the number one country with bare mineral resources, not Africa. I know it's popular to say. Let's look. Let's see. Now look, AI says yes. Yes, Russia is ranked as the country with the most valuable natural resources, estimated at 75 trillion. Coal, natural gas, and oil. These are all the things that, what Agent Orange is coveting right now. He's trying to collect. That's why when he made that minerals deal in Ukraine, is because they had Ukraine was part of Russia. That was all Russia at one point in time. That was the Soviet Union. And then in the 90s, when they annexed themselves off and created their own sovereign countries, that's what ended up happening with the fall of the Soviet Union, the USSR, and all of that. But they had the resources over there. So now he went and made the deal and got those. He's down there in Venezuela. Remember last week he said we want the oil. They shut down our oil deals and all that. We want it back. Now you see what's going on over here in Nigeria. That what do they have? Coal, gold, lithium. All these things is what he's going after. And he's using fake news, as he would say, about, oh, it's the persecution of Christians. We're going over there trying to, crusade and go stop the killing of these innocent Christians by the scum Muslims. I mean, you can't make this up, man. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Yeah, as we're seeing, many of the other countries where Christians are being persecuted at, they get a blind eye because they ain't got nothing he needs, nothing that he wants. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bare. Oh, he's going to go in there and strip them buck down naked. And then, the Nigerian officials over there compromised and agreeing. And don't be surprised in the near future when we start hearing about them having backdoor deals about American resources. If they don't have them already. And those officials over there in Nigeria, they're going to get chipped off. They're going to get a little bread out the deal too. And they're going to say, hey, look what we did for our people. They're going to line their pockets up with blood money. America's going to snatch up the resources. I mean, look, ISIS and all that, these are all CIA created entities. America started it. Even when you're dealing with Hamas. The small hats help fund and create them. Do you know that? I mean, this is what we're talking about. They create the damn Frankensteins, and then when they go wild, they sit back and say, well, hey, you know what? We got to go stop this wild creature. How did it get loose? Where did it come from? You go down the rabbit hole, you find out you're the ones that created these things. Hillary Clinton is on record saying we created ISIS under the Mujahideen during the Cold War, helped training them to fight the Cold War against the Russians in the 80s. And now they just acting like, oh, they just went rogue because of their religion. No, you knew they was religious zealots when you recruited them. And you funded them and you gave them weapons and you gave them authority and power and money and training and used them as proxies. And now when when America kicked them to the curb and said, we ain't got no need for you no more, Cold War's over. Now they like, oh, well, you know what? Hell, we got all this training. We're going to go on jihads. I mean, this is wild stuff that we be dealing with and seeing in this earth, man. It's so fake and phony. It's not even funny. But verse 5 again, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. So that's why they're talking about, oh, we haven't ruled out allowing the troops with boots on the ground to come over here in Nigeria and wreak havoc. Because once he does that, he's going to make thee bare. He's going to strip them down for all them damn resources and will not be sorry for it. So, yes, all of y'all that was right saying 7777 something was up. He ain't sincere about this. You're exactly right. Because we already know. Proverbs 26:25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not. When he's saying, and it sounds right, it sounds justified, it sounds like he's being sincere. The Lord says, don't believe that. Why? Because for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Even if he does tell the truth, know that he's got to come up with 7 more abominations to cover over that one truth that he was able to speak. When he spoke fair, the Lord said he's still drumming up a completion amount of thoughts of abominations in his heart. He's not being honest and sincere. Don't believe him. This is why he told us on Sirach 12:10, never trust thy enemy. whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Yeah, pants down, man. The emperor's got no clothes. Like, we see what's going on. There's no, religious crusade, man. He's on a mission trying to save some black Christians. Remember, he was talking about people coming from Africa was ish whole countries. Remember that? When he was talking about the migrants, he was talking about people coming from Haiti and coming from West Africa and all that. And he was talking about these people coming from ish whole countries. He talked about the I can't remember if they're who were the ones that not from Sudan. I can't think of them. The ones up there in Minnesota, Africans up there. They're not Eritrean. They're not Ethiopian. They're not Sudanese. It's a majority of them over there. If y'all remember, man, throw it in the chat. I can't remember what ethnicity those some Africans up there in Minnesota that's kind of popular. Somalians, the water co your brother's getting up there. My mind is holding too much. I was telling that to Ashar. Be having too much on the brain. I got to delete some stuff to make room. Yeah, the water co and Ashar, Somali. Yeah, them Somalians, man, them Hamites over there. Remember, Trump said, man, I don't like them. I don't want them here. So he don't give a damn on them old black Africans over there. No. He's stated on record a number of different times. Number one, he said he's not a Christian. Number two, he's talking about these people coming from shithole countries that he ain't got nothing to do. He don't want nothing to do with all of that. He don't even want them here. There's a hypocrite talking about he's trying to go save some innocent Christians, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least 12 countries or 11 other countries where Christians are being persecuted, and you don't see no black ops operations going on trying to liberate them and stopping ISIS all over the place. And I get it. You can't go bomb every place, but hell, why not declare that you're getting ready to do this all over everywhere and anywhere ISIS is? Just like you're talking about everywhere that you can find these drug cartels and drug boats leaving from Venezuela, you're gonna bomb them because we know that ain't what it's about. We know that that's not what it's about. Man, what's going on with this? Let me get one more. Isaiah 5. Isaiah 5 and 8. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place. That's exactly what he does. He joins house to house. He's trying to build on his empire, laying field to field. Remember, even Micah 2 tells us that he covers fields. He's up at night thinking about how he's going to dominate, take control, colonize, and steal lands from said countries and nations. Because he's trying to build upon his own field to field. I mean, America's got over 700 military bases throughout the earth. He's already joined from house to house. Many a house has already joined to America. Revelation 14 tells us that. Revelation 18 tells us that about all the nations that come and drink of the wine of the wrath of the fornication and lay in the bed with this whore. They've already committed themselves, joining themselves here. And it says, till there be no place, until he's got it all. He wants it all. This is why, people's pensions ain't safe. Social Security ain't safe. Your money sitting in the bank ain't safe. Sitting in a digitized bank like crypto, none of that safe, because he wants it all. He's eventually going to crash everything, swipe up everybody's savings. There ain't gonna be no such thing as a damn 401k and all that other stuff. I mean, they've already been talking about it. Social Security is probably going to run out by 2030 or 2035, where there is no retirement saving. This is why they, initially when Social Security was even established, they built up the system surrounded around the lifespan of men and women. The retirement age was built around when the expectation of death would happen. So essentially, when Social Security was established, they set the age bracket to where they figured and was hoping that people wouldn't live to see it so they can keep all the damn money. And as people started outliving those expectations, what do? They pushed the age back. It was 62. Now it's 60. It was 65. Now it's 67. Now they even talking about boosting it up to 70. I mean, damn, who's trying to work till they goddamn 70 years old? But it doesn't matter because he wants it all until there be no place. That's why when he went in 2008 and the housing market crashed and all of that, and all these foreclosures, they signed up people on these old bogus loans, had people foreclosed, bankrupt, and everything else. And then what they do? The banks come back in, buy up all these properties, pennies on the dollar, flip them again, and now they're going back, putting them on the market until they do it again. You know, they're talking about foreclosures and late payments is back up again. It's reminiscent of 2008 again. Yeah, so once they go ahead and they start monopolizing and taking up stuff, you see all these quote unquote natural disasters, i.e. the Malibu fires and Altadena fires, and now over here in LA and California, you seeing them cities coming in buying up all this land and taking the land rights and delaying the permits and frustrating everybody trying to get back to rebuilding their homes. They're putting all kind of restrictions on stuff, man, because they want the smart cities to be built. That's why he's getting ready to go over there in Nigeria so he can hoard those resources over there until there be no place, right? Finishing up verse 8, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. They want it all, and they want it only to be them. That's why we talk about an elite, a 1%, right? Is because they want to have the ruling class over everybody else, and everybody else be subservient if you remain alive. Remember the Georgia Guidestones, the ones that got blew up? Their population was expected to be 5. They wanted the population to be down to 500 million. You know that means that 7.5 billion people need to be put to death in order for that to happen? This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Now you see why we need divine intervention. Now you see why we need that sky to crack, man. Yahweh sign the angels come back and rescue the downtrodden and the forgotten, blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, who suffered, through our afflictions. Isaiah 40. Let's look at the gospel here. Comfort ye, my people, saith your power. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she have received of Yahweh's hand double for all her sins. We've paid our dues. We've gone through it double. That's why, in retrospect, when we read in Revelation 18, and Yahweh said, "Reward her double, even as she have rewarded you," that's retribution. That's payback. That's equality. Until we get that, it ain't nothing equal. Ain't nothing fair. And that's just what it is. Right? So this is the mission that we're on. I mean, otherwise, man, this man's going to continue destroying the whole earth if he's got the chance. That's why Yahweh Shai even said that the time got to be cut short for the elect's sake, lest no flesh should be saved. He's hell bent on getting everything that he wants, and if he's got to get it by hook or by crook, he's going to try to get it. This is why he's got to be destroyed. This is why he's got to get up out of here. We see what happened with that MIT scientist. Remember with the shooting at Brown University? They tied that in with this MIT scientist. They believe it was the same shooter, right? But now there's a little bit of controversy, a little bit of a speculation as to why this particular scientist was targeted. Now, take it for what it is. You want to throw on your tinfoil hat? Let's put it on together. We're gonna read what happened. MIT scientists poised to upend fossil fuel industry before assassination linked to Brown University shooter. So this particular MIT scientist was getting ready to disrupt the fossil fuel industry, which is how America is being ran on the fossil fuels and all of that, leading towards natural gas or leading towards, the windmills and all the other stuff, right? getting ready to be able to show how electricity and power can be resourced more clean, more efficient, cheaper than what America is charging these power companies. So he's revolutionizing a thing that actually could disrupt how America's being ran. So is it possible that he was taken out? Hey, far be it from me to say that America is so upright that they would never do such a thing. Hey, do y'all remember that the cat that came up I guess came up with the car and he was deaf. A couple of them actually did that. Remember that? And he since and then found was utilizing plastic and he was present this people, afraid to say, he started to say, I did it because it was he was looking for safety now, but that's what goes on. You don't get that was me for the urban ways, you might have to be disappeared. So quite this professor. There we go. There we go. Hey. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 every time, man. As soon as I get to lifting the skirt up a little bit, man, they get to getting a little excited, man. They pull the skirt down. What's going on? Am I on? Y'all can see or hear me? Throw a 7 in the chat, man, because my screen is still blank on my phone. I'm trying to see. I know y'all can probably hear me. Let me see. Okay. All right. Here we go. We back. We back. All praises. Yeah. You know how it go. You know how it go. When you start saying some stuff people ain't trying to hear, man, they get to getting a little bit upset. Somehow the stream gets interrupted. Something goes on. You know. I'm looking. My internet signal was fine. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's from the rain. Maybe it's from the winds. Everything was good. Everything was good, but until it ain't. You did. Everything's good till it ain't. Let me get back and share again then. All right. We're gonna get back. I'm still in the kitchen, man. I'm not done cooking this dude. All right. So as we were saying, the possibility is there that the MIT professor Nuno Loureiro was put to death for what he knew and what he was going to bring to the table, and not necessarily as some random, casualty of the Brown shooter over there in Rhode Island. No, very possibly could have been something else. Let's continue on. Now, not only do we see this is the whole thing too. 10 million Americans are told to stay indoors as air fills with toxins linked to heart attacks. I mean, this is why we got to get up out of here, man. I mean, we're dealing with massive amounts of evil here, man, and the destruction of the earth is so real. Isaiah 24, we're going to read 4 and 5. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. See, the earth is now being defiled, man. And guess who has to pay the price because of the destructions that they're into? Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath was come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints. Who's the rewards coming to? The prophets and to the saints. Nobody else. Thus saith the Lord, rewards. What is that? Salvation. That's coming to who? The prophets and the saints. The prophets only come from Israel. It said all the prophets prophesied unto John. We don't know of any other, there's no heathen prophets going on. Heathens have never been classified as saints. Sorry. And to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Now, there was air advisories going on as of last week and the week before that here in California. And we always talk about the smog and the bad air going on in California. But at this time, man, it was damn near deadly. They were telling people, man, stay in the house. If you ain't got to go out, don't go out. It was thick fog every morning. Not this past week, the week before. Thick fog going on. Now this week, we get the rains that come down and wash it all down, right? But air advisories was put out all over the place. You know, they was hyping it up. If you got pre-existing conditions, you got asthma, you got, respiratory issues. If you got any, heart issues and all that, stay in the house. Don't go out. Look at it. Millions of Americans are under a sudden and dangerous air quality emergency, with authorities across the West urging residents to stay indoors. In Southern California, more than 10 million people face hazardous conditions as the South Coast Air Quality Management District reports sharply elevated levels of PM 2.5, microscopic particles produced by vehicles, industry, and wood burning. See, that's why the Lord just said, hey, the Lord's going to destroy them which destroy the earth. The earth is being defiled under the inhabitants thereof, right? I mean, this is everything. This is all due to him. Microscopic particles coming in the air through vehicles, industry, wood burning, all of these factories is all around over in Wilmington and everywhere else. Like, it's all based around him cutting corners, defiling the air, and far be it from him to pollute the air with chemicals. Just go back, and we talked about before with Operation Sea Spray, and him spraying the air with toxic chemicals in St. Louis through the tailpipes of station wagons and all that. Army, remember the Army did them experiments on our people in St. Louis, killing our people, polluting the air. Here they go again. And then you start hearing about how this new flu season, it's a new strand that's going on right now. Did y'all hear about that? New strand going on right now, more devastating than any other flu that they've had. Look at this. They're talking about, oh, it's coming with a phlegmy cough. People are, vomit, diarrhea, body aches, all that. Yeah, it's going down. New strain of flu known as subclade K has emerged in 2025, causing a severe flu season in the U.S. and other countries. This variant of influenza, H3N2, is highly contagious and may lead to more intense symptoms, raising concerns about its public impact on public health and vaccine effectiveness. Yeah, look at them. So not only are they polluting the air, then they got this new strain coming out. I mean, this is the madness that we're in here. Cities include LA, Santa Monica, Torrance, Long Beach, Pasadena, Anaheim, Irvine, Santa Ana, Huntington Beach, Riverside, San Bernardino, Corona, Moreno Valley, Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, Mission Viejo. I mean, for those of y'all that don't know, that's pretty much all of LA County. When you talk about LA County, sometimes people say, yeah, I'm from LA. You may not be from the city, but you may reside in the county of LA. In the county, all of these, many of these particular uh, cities like Santa Monica, Torrance, Long Beach, Pasadena, Anaheim, Irvine. Then when you get out the Riverside, that's a whole nother county. Riverside County, San Bernardino, that's a little further east. And that's more like, mountainous out in those areas. But nonetheless, they pretty much are saying all of Southern California, both counties is affected. And before that, it was Ventura County, where it initially started, and it just started spreading. And then next thing you know, we getting these strong winds, hurricanes, things is blowing all over the place. I don't always like to think everything is conspiratorial, but I mean, listen, man, when he's got access to HARP and geoengineering and weather modification and all of that, you got to sit back and scratch your head and say, why are we hearing about all this, the harshest winters? And the winter was kicking in early. One of the sisters down in Florida, she's in uh, uh, Pensacola, which is like northeast Florida. They get wild weather over there. She was sending me the weather reports. It could be like 30 degrees one day, and next thing you know, the next day it's up to 70, then it's down to 50 and 40 and snowing. I mean, this is all damn near before the winter solstice hit last Tuesday. She's like, isn't this, we're not even in winter yet. Like, look at this. And it's always like that. Robin, you know what I'm talking about. But this is the wild stuff that's going on in the earth. And I'm saying, is this all natural? Or could he be over there tampering with the weather? One way or the other, it really doesn't matter because the Most High is in control of it all, and it's only adding on to his list of offenses. But this is what he is. Let's continue. No, it's not China, it's the Democrats. You leave it to Agent Orange, you're gonna always blame the Democrats, man. Speaking of that, look at this. Critics blast CBS Barry Weiss for pulling 60 Minutes report on Trump deportations, government-controlled TV. Only reason why I pulled this out is because, we've been talking about the Ministry of Truth, 1984, government-sponsored and controlled media. We're in those times right now, man, where Agent Orange is on a rampage. He's won. He's sued various networks. He's been winning, getting money back. People that were, slandering him and talking about him. Now they're backing down. Remember, he was getting late night show hosts fired and suspended from their TV shows if they were speaking against him. I mean, this is the Fuhrer in full control right now. Now you got 60 Minutes pulling episodes. What happened to freedom of press? Now they're shook up, and he's even being involved where there's a big bidding war for I think it's Warner Brothers. And you're starting to see now they're also trying to get an entertainment monopoly. You got what's the cat's name, man, that runs Oracle? Man, what's that cat's name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. And it's on the tip of my tongue. Larry Ellison. Damn, it just popped in my head. All praise to the Most High. It's gonna eventually get it. But his son also runs like a whole little media empire. He's trying to get control of Netflix, and they trying to corner the market, man. You talk about these damn demons, man, trying to run everything from entertainment on down. And Trump is they're in Trump's pockets, and we see the influence that's going on. 60 Minutes is over here censoring and pulling reports, and now they're citing that the government is now in control of the TV. CBS News editor-in-chief Barry Weiss is under fire over a decision to pull a 60-minute segment on the Trump administration's deportation of Venezuelan migrants to a prison in El Salvador, with one critic calling it government-controlled TV. Weiss reportedly made the decision to pull the segment, which promised to reveal brutal and torturous conditions inside El Salvador's terrorism confinement center, or CCOT, due to a lack of administration voices. Correspondent Sharon Alfonsi said in a note established that the White House, Department of Homeland Security, and the State Department were given an opportunity to respond to questions or provide an interview. Cover up. Can you say cover up? Oh, absolutely. They were supposed to be showing brutal and torturous conditions. Remember, Agent Orange even said that he was open to sending quote unquote American criminals to these El Salvador prison hells. He said, I'm not, it's working great on immigration. I'm thinking about the criminals next. And now when they're doing an expose on this thing, and they're like, oh man, it's really bad down there. Like, oh, hey, pull that. We don't need that being aired. That's too truthful. Who says so? The government says so. We control media now. You don't like it, we'll sue you. We'll shut you down. We'll have you fired. We'll have you suspended. We'll have you canceled. So not only if there's a threat to freedom of the press, that's also found within the First Amendment, freedom of speech also will be threatened in the very near future. Just like we've been talking about for weeks on end with NSPM 7. That's all is all laying the groundwork. Just put the pieces of the puzzle together and watch it unfold. Here we go. Power restored to most of San Francisco after massive outage. We talked about that at the top of the show, right? And like I said, this is all on the cusp of me telling everybody stop preparing. I'm not saying, oh, you bigger, you know it all, you prophet. No, I'm just saying, all praise to the Most High that when examples are being shown, that maybe it will motivate brothers and sisters to take time to really start considering things for preparation, just in case. I ain't saying I'm some old big old doomsday prep and all the other stuff. I ain't not like that. But keeping things in decency and in order and in consideration of seeing what's happened in the past and trying not to, avoid those things, I make sure that my family and I have things in order as best as we can, to be prepared in the event that, certain things go down. But when it's all said and done, you ain't gotta listen to me, man. Just wait for some stuff to happen. Then you're gonna be like, oh shit. You see what happened when the vid broke out, man, everybody running, the lines was exponentially long, toilet paper, people fighting in the lines for food. I mean, hell, if people are fighting in line over chicken sandwiches at Popeyes when they first dropped, what you think's gonna happen, man, when you get to these grocery stores and they're already been ramshackled and destroyed? The grocery stores rely on, weekly shipments of food. But what they have in there, that's all they have. There's no storage in the back. You can't ask somebody, you got any more stuff in the back? No, everything that they've gotten is already out there. Once that's gone, you got to wait for the next shipment to come in. God forbid there's, snowstorm, whatever, something goes down and those trucks are unable to come in, protest, who knows what, and you're not being able to get that food up in there. Yeah, people already going down here in San Francisco 3 days. It went down Saturday. I think they got it back up Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning. My sister works in San Francisco, and she told me, definitely. She don't live in San Francisco. She stays in Oakland, but she said, she wasn't able to go to work Monday or Tuesday. They already told her she can, they were gonna have to work from home. They expected the power to be back on Wednesday, but the city was in shambles. Businesses was all shut down. People was jacked up for them 3 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, into Tuesday. Uh, Now it says power was restored Sunday to the bulk of the 130,000 homes and businesses in San Francisco impacted by the massive outage a day earlier that caused major disruptions. About 17,000 customers remain without power as of noon Sunday. Pacific Gas and Electric Company said. PG&E said earlier its crews were working to restore electricity in several neighborhoods and small areas of downtown San Francisco following Saturday's outage. They said that they expected the power to be back on it by 2 p.m. I believe they didn't get everybody back on until it was like Tuesday, like 4 in the morning or something like that. They finally got everybody back online. But yeah, just imagine, you went you got some food in there, your refrigerator's down, uh, you risking spoiling the food. People I'm sure was running to the stores trying to grab the ice that they can, but those stores are gonna be closed because they ain't got no electricity. They can't open up the registers. They can't swipe no cards. Everything is in them freezers is gonna go bad if they ain't got sufficient backup power to keep those things going. You got to consider all them things, man. No lights, phones, all that other stuff. When your phone goes down, it is what it is. But remember, a couple weeks back, I gave y'all a little tip. I showed y'all the little handheld solar charger for the phones, and it can even power a tablet. Uh, some depending on the wattage, it can even do your computer. And you don't necessarily need the electricity. Sit it out there in the sun. If you got some sun, even if you get a little bit of sun, it's gonna take a long time to charge if you got a little light, but it's still gonna charge. You'll get something out of it if need be. But you gotta have little stuff like that, because sure enough, within that same day, the Most High said, "Oh, let me give them an example on what you're talking about, son." And there you go. Or you can have something like this go down.
To the Pacific Northwest now, and that historic flooding that has turned deadly. Tonight, another levee breaching with more rain on the way. Our Steve Patterson and his team are in Washington State tonight. Steve, flooding still a major threat there.
It is, Tom. Rushing water from that breach flooded this community overnight. Thankfully, a lot of it has gone down, but as you see, pockets are still submerged. This happened at about 1:30 overnight. Thousands of residents getting that go now warning. Authorities going door to door. They evacuated about 200 homes. It's the second breach to occur within the span of about 12 hours. So authorities now really worried about how saturated the soil is, how saturated the infrastructure, the levees are. All of this while authorities are dealing with their first flood-related death. A 33-year-old man confirmed drowned after driving through a flooded road. All of this happening while residents are now bracing for the worst. New bands of rain moving in as we speak. Tom?
So imagine, not only is your transportation shut down, food's gonna be shut down, the water supply is gonna be shut down. You remember when they had them floods down there in Mississippi and the water got jacked up? People couldn't drink, they couldn't get the water. They had to go, people was donating, bottled water for them, and it was like for a week, people didn't have clean water. And the water was all jacked up, and once they finally said the water could be utilized again, there was one story, man. Somebody said they put the water in the pot for the dog, and they was gonna let the dog try it first. They said the dog wouldn't even drink the damn water. They smelled the water. It was like, this ain't safe yet. If y'all remember that a couple years ago over there in Mississippi. So when you see flooding like that, man, I mean the sewer systems get jacked up. Water, I mean, yeah, you got to consider all them things. Start looking at, your own little personal portable toilets. Because you know, just imagine, man, all hell breaks loose. If you're living in the projects, you're living in apartment complexes and whatnot, man, all them so-called white men got to do is turn the water off. Sewer systems, effed. That's, you forget about it. Hygiene, forget about it. Cooking with clean water in it, forget about it. You gotta have all them things in consideration, because anytime he can pull the panic button, pull the plug, or you know, something like this could happen. I mean, hey, we seen about this up there in the Pacific Northwest. I'm sure when people was looking at that story, they was like, "Oh, that's crazy up there." Next thing you know, it's happening right down here,
We thank you.
California. We ain't thinking it's gonna happen here, because you know, Tony said it never rains in Southern California. But don't be fooled.
Tonight, torrential rain is drenching the west and snarling traffic for people still trying to get out. An area in San Bernardino urging residents to shelter in place as heavy mud flow and debris inundate the community.
Now, see, this is more mountain area in San Bernardino County. They're up in the mountains, so they're gonna get them mudslides and all, because they putting their houses in these little cottages and all that in the mountain regions, and they gonna get hit like that. That's why they getting hit, and that downpour is all flowing down on them because it's coming from the top on down in the mountains, and all the mud and everything else is wiping them out. Matter of fact, you know, that's how the Most High operates, man. When the Most High starts to lay down his judgment, we take note. Has he ever done this before? Look at this. Isaiah 28:1. Woe to the crown of pride to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that are overcome with wine. So there's a judgment that happened upon Ephraim because of the haughtiness, because of the idolatry and the wickedness. And the Lord said their beauty is fading, meaning the zeal and the crown of glory that they had as once being the sons and daughters of the children of Israel and in righteousness, that's all faded out, and they had to be judged. Verse 2, behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. So when you see these storms, destroying storm, that's the Most High. The Most High is laying down judgment. That's why I said, you know, the Most High's tempest is judging America. Because, like I said, in New York, they're talking about 9-10 inches of snow. State of emergency. New Jersey telling people don't drive, stay in the house. Don't go out if you don't need to. Over here, you know, you got the storms, floods, hurricanes. Look, same book of Isaiah. This is next chapter, 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh, of the hosts, with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. That's how the Most High judges him and puts his judgments within the earth. So when we see these things, you know, you can have a little bit of sympathy. You can be like, oh, that's too bad. Like, I feel bad for them people. But when the Most High lays his hands on this place, man, ain't nothing you or me can do about it. Let me play this again.
Tonight, torrential rain is drenching the west and snarling traffic for people still trying to get out. An area in San Bernardino urging residents to shelter in place as heavy mud flow and debris inundate the community. Water rescues being reported across.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Ashar, that's a good idea. I mean, you know, if people have the ability to store that rainwater, I mean, I don't suggest to utilize it for drinking, so to speak, but you can boil it down, utilize it for, cleaning and sanitation and stuff like that. But even in some states, man, they and I don't know, in some counties in California, man, they restrict collection of rainwater, man. They say that's against the law. Imagine that. This thing starts over every time. It's like it. I don't mean to do that.
dangerous and life-threatening situation.
Prepare yourself. It is critical. It could save your life.
A FedEx truck crashed on this Los Angeles highway during today's messy morning commute. Its trailer ripped apart with packages spilling out. Rescuers also responded to this car swept away in Southern California. Officials say those inside were safely rescued. In San Diego, one man died after being struck by a falling tree limb.
We have crazy rain, we have crazy weather, and Mother Nature, unfortunately, will bring the wind and the rain.
And in Sacramento,
And that's one thing too. In California, man, a lot of our people, we definitely are spoiled with the weather. There's no question about it. And then when stuff like this happens, our people get caught out of sorts and they don't know how to deal with it, especially with emergency services and all that. They like, we got crazy weather. Like they trying to figure it out. And then especially when people are driving, people don't adjust to driving like they should out here. When it's raining, these people still be driving like it's wet, like the ground ain't wet and ain't oil slicks and all that other stuff, man. They be zipping and dipping and, mashing out all over the place, man. Accidents happening all the time because they don't think about adjusting for weather conditions. We're so conditioned to think, oh, just keep driving. No, you can't drive the same.
sheriff deputy was killed driving this morning to work in the storm. The intense downpour expected to dump up to 12 inches of rain in some areas by the end of the week, as 41 million people remain under weather alerts, including those in areas hard hit earlier this year by those catastrophic wildfires, leaving this region vulnerable.
A tree fell over there.
Now, more than 300 homes are under evacuation orders in LA.
Evacuation orders.
Yeah, it was pretty serious. They said the way they had it, it was supposed to be Wednesday through, I think, Friday, leading up into Saturday. Like, we're just going to have consistent rain. At least in LA, in the city, we got hit pretty hard Wednesday. Thursday, it kind of tailed off. We didn't get any more rain until we got a little drizzle. Then last night, we got some more rain. Today, little drizzle. We ain't really getting no heavy rains again. So, a lot of it, they kind of misread, but in certain areas, certain counties, they definitely got hit up.
Are not issued lightly.
But I know Wednesday, my windows was rattling, the winds was kicking, that rain was coming down. It was a lot different than we had a legitimate storm. Now look at this. Boyle Heights, that's like East LA.
Now an update to breaking news we reported at the top of the hour. The National Weather Service confirming tonight an EF0 tornado touched down in Boyle Heights.
The strong winds came through at 10:10 a.m. on Christmas Day. This tornado had winds of up to 80 miles an hour. It was about a quarter-mile long and a width of 30 yards. The EF0 rating was based on damage to power poles, roof damage, and multiple signs across the area.
Hey, what's interesting with that is Boyle Heights is predominantly Northern Kingdom. And we just got the reading in Isaiah 28 about Ephraim being hit with storms, because we, acknowledge the Northern Kingdom as being part of Ephraim. Them getting hit like this. And I thought about that in the spirit when I was reading that scripture earlier, and I was like, damn, they did get hit with a cold storm and them fierce winds. Right? Isn't that what the Most High said? Didn't he say winds? In Isaiah 28? Oh, destroying storm. Right. And that's what they got hit with. So you got to imagine, man, a damn tornado in California. It's happened before, but it's extremely rare. And now we're seeing those things going down here. Right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Possibly. Mostly, a lot of Esau be getting hit because they like to nestle themselves up in the hills and in the caves and in the mountains, and they want to sit down in like a little perched bird and look down on everybody. Then when the Most High starts hitting them up with the fires, with the winds, with the storms, they get brought down. They get brought down to reality. So let's continue on. Let me see here. What was this? That's some X. Yeah, let's look at this here. Now, this is an article off of X. As much as we keep hearing about, the Doge and how much money they saved from all of these fraud cases and people stealing money from the government with EBT and all this other stuff, right? The biggest fraudsters is Esau, man. And here you have the governor of California, Governor Gruesome, trying to put his bid in to be the next president, and he's got this hanging over his head. Remember, there was already a case about $24 billion being missing. That was supposed to go to homeless funding and resources. Now look at this. California is the fraud and money laundering capital of the world. 2.3 billion sent to LA County over 4 years is completely unaccounted for. Did you hear that? $2.3 billion is unaccounted for. California homeless money found paying for the quote Beverly Hills mansion. Taxpayers have forked over tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and people are stealing it. It's unbelievable. It's frankly outrageous, and this goes to show when you hand out billions of dollars with little to no oversight, there are people out there that will take advantage, and that's always been our suspicion, is that there has been very little oversight or accountability to the individuals who receive this money. Most of the money goes out to nonprofits or developers who claim they're going to use the money to build housing. What we saw in these just these two investigations, that's not where the money went. Let's look at this.
LA County over 4 years is completely unaccounted for. That's $2.3 billion that could have been used to clean up this or find housing for people who live like this. Taxpayers have forked over tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to fix it. And people are stealing it?
It's unbelievable. And, it's probably been going on for a very long time.
I mean, look, and California tax system is disgusting. We got high taxes. If you need, if you got a need for, okay, let's just keep it real. If you buy a firearm or buy some ammo, you got to pay double the tax. So you're already paying 11%. You got to pay another 11%. So you're paying 22% tax. You also got to pay $5 for a damn background check. And then you pay for whatever you get, right? Every place you go now, they already are they're either including the tax or they're asking for tax. You go to damn, where? You go to Domino's, buy a pizza, and they ask you, do you want to leave a tip? For what? I ordered my pizza online. I'm just coming to pick it up. No, everything's tips. Everybody got their hands out. It's wild. You still got homeless encampments all over the place. Tent cities galore. Now they've been cleaning up some of these areas because they know these damn Olympics got to go down in a couple of years. But still, there's people. You've seen the pictures. People's out there, and they grabbing the money and running.
But unfortunately, no one's really looked at it until recently. Before this position, I was in the state legislature, and we would ask a lot of questions about the billions of dollars being spent every year to solve homelessness. And we can all see with our eyes and ears that it wasn't being solved, and the money wasn't going to the people who needed it most. So one of the first things I did after being appointed.
I mean, that's plain. We ain't even got to go no further. That's why the Most High said in Zechariah 5 that he's going to enter the house of the thief. And he's going to lay judgment on him. Paraphrasing that verse. He's forever out here dealing in extortion, thievery, robbery, the whole nine. Look at this. But you know what? Hold on. I think I got another article before I get to this. Yeah, look at this. ICE documents plans reveal a plan to hold 80,000 immigrants in warehouses. So if you're questioning whether or not, these FEMA camps and these other, yes, they're in development. Remember, there was rumors back in the day that Walmart was going to be used for detention centers and all that. People is kind of close, but they're warehouses that they're going to be housing people in. You hear 80,000. They can be fit in one spot. The Trump administration is seeking contractors to help it overhaul the United States immigrant detention system in a plan that includes renovating industrial warehouses to hold more than 80,000 immigrant detainees at a time, according to a draft solicitation reviewed by the Washington Post. Rather than shuttling detainees around the country to wherever detention space is available, as happens now, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement aims to speed up deportations by establishing a deliberate feeder system. The document says newly arrested detainees will be booked into processing sites for a few weeks before being funneled into one of 7 large-scale warehouses holding 5,000 to 10,000 people each, where they would be staged for deportation. They're gonna pack these people in like sardines, man. Do you think that they got, they're gonna be built up for sanitary conditions? Look, Alligator Alcatraz, they already talking about people's over there getting jacked up. We've been reading about stories, 4 people in 4 days being put to death under ICE detention center conditions. Look here, the large warehouses would be located close to major logistic hubs: Virginia, Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, Georgia, and Missouri. 16 smaller warehouses would hold up to 1,500 people each. That's a lot of people that they can store up in there. A lot of room for, dissidents and people that's committing sedition. And, because, it always extends. As he always says, it's not going to be just for immigrants. Everything he always starts off, that's the excuse to open up a broader, brush to stroke everybody that he doesn't like into those detention centers, man. So keep your eyes on that, man, because look at this. This is another thing. Keep your eyes on that because these guys are out of control. I mean, if you thought they was before, look at this. Agents are breaking into a woman's bathroom.
La puerta. It's a foot. It's resistance. Yeah. Dang it. Got it? Necesitas abrir la puerta ahora. Tell them back up. Necesitas muevas. Vamos a abrir la puerta. Con fuerte. He's in there. Yep. Ready? Yep. Get down! Get down! Puerta ahora! Get on the ground! Females. Siéntese. No te muevas. Miss, pull up your pants, come out of the bathroom. Pull up your pants, come out of the bathroom.
Did you see these maniacs, man? Nobody was sitting there holding the door. The women is in the bathroom using the restroom, man. The door was the door was locked. These cats, man, ran up in there. He's looking over the thing, telling them, Miss, pull your pants up. It's ICE. I mean, is there no restrictions anymore? I mean, is there any privacy? Is there anything that they won't do now? You see them running into people on the streets, blaming the drivers, saying, remember they did that to that sister? I saw that video a few weeks back. They doing illegal U-turns in the middle of the street, ramming another car. They jump out and drag her out the car, guns to the head, blaming her, kicking down doors. Yeah, no, she can't wipe, man. Who knows what she got going on? She could have been on there, man, on her cycle. Who knows what? She can't even get right. These cats, man, storming the spot, man. So, man, pull up your pants.
Pull up your pants, come out of the bathroom. Okay, please hurry. Okay, señoritas conmigo, a mis compañeros, por la puerta.
Now, so if they're willing to kick down this door of the bathroom, and mind you, in this article, they didn't even have a valid warrant to do this. Look at this. ICE agents illegally break into a woman's bathroom in New York, in a New York nutrition bar manufacturing plant. Pull up your pants, says a male agent. The agents only had a warrant to review employer documents. They didn't have a warrant to search for, detain, or arrest anyone there. Keep this in mind as we continue on. They only had a warrant to review employer documents. No warrant to search, detain, or arrest anyone. Keep that in mind. Looking at the dollar, I'm not telling y'all nothing you probably don't know already. It's not looking good. Remember, they're looking to crash, looking to burn, so they can rebuild, and it's all going to be centered around one world currency, digitized dollar, biometrics, the whole nine. You know the routine. Just letting y'all know we got to continue tracking it. because everything's going according to schedule. The dollar set for its worst year since 2017. Leave it to the Republican, the head of the set, Agent Orange. He's going to tell you it's slow Biden's fault. It's the Democrats' fault. No, he's had a year now to get the economy underway and get things back on track, and he worse. And like I said, when the Sabbath is over, y'all go look into the precious metal market. You see what's happening when those two things are working in opposites. One's doing better than the other. That means that the one that's operating off paper is in big trouble, and the banks are going to be looking to do some shenanigans to try to maintain their foothold on the world's economy. So it ain't looking good. That's why I said 2026 is going to be pretty wild. Pretty wild. Look at this.
Nah, man.
This in Jamaica. One of the brothers in Jamaica sent this to me. Ultra Rios, Jamaica. He's getting one bell pepper. One bell pepper.
One sweet pepper for over $1,000. When I get from bad to worse, man. Bumbuck, how much is that? Good God.
You see that price? That in US dollars is about a little more than $7. That's why I say it's getting from bad to worse. Now this was as of November. You see here? November 28th, 2025. This is about $7.50, a little more than it's $7 and some change. On the closer end to $8 for one pepper in Jamaica. One green pepper. Look, imported from the US. See, that's the tariffs. That's some more stuff going on over there. Who can eat at that price? Almost $8 for one pepper, man. I mean, when we start talking about the seals, like Revelation 6 and Revelation 6 and 6, right? Now it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and thou art and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So what is this talking about? This is going to talk about famine. This is going to talk about the cost of food and how it's going to accelerate. Now, when it says a measure of wheat for a penny is like a day's labor of work. All right. So imagine 1 day's labor. Matthew 20 and verse 1. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is in a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. So a penny is like a whole day's labor. Can you imagine working an 8-hour shift and you're only able to buy a small measure of wheat and barley to make maybe a loaf of bread, maybe a bag of beans and a bag of rice? You done worked all day only to get that. So when you're looking at and you seeing $7 plus $7+ bell peppers being sold in Jamaica, you know it's bad. These are the times that we're living in, y'all. And that's going into the third seal. If my memory serves me correctly, let me make sure. I don't want to misquote that. Yeah. The third seal, right? So measuring the time and seeing what we in, man, I thought that was outrageous. I said, man, it's over $7 for a damn pepper. One? Okay. Yeah, that's a good point, Oscar Rob. A pretty penny, that's a fact. Yeah, we just looked at that. Federal task force probes missing billions in LA homeless funds. Indictments are getting ready to mount. We'll see if anybody's held accountable for that. Now look at these bastards, man. You know, we've covered and talked about how, strangers are devouring our land in our presence, man. They're over there defiling the land. Look at that. Thousands flocked to Bethlehem to revive Christmas spirit after 2 years of war in Gaza. They've got the nerve to be having Christmas celebrations over there when majority of the damn Orthodox over there, they don't even believe in Christ. If that was the case, if they believe on it being his birthday and, so they don't even believe in all this stuff. They holding pride parades over there. The sodomite communities over there. They smoking cigarettes. They wilding. They doing all kind of foolishness over there, man. Those are not the people. And they ain't doing nothing but defiling the land. Let's celebrating Christmas in the Lord's land, claiming to be the Lord's people, and knowing idolatry, paganism is all restricted and violates the laws of Yahweh. And they're gonna say they're the people, huh? Is that the one I want? The 36. Yeah. Ezekiel 36. We're gonna read one down. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, Ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Elohim power. Because the enemy have said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith Yahweh power. Because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers or in the infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh Elohim. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, to the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, and the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which become a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, that's Edom, that's the fake small astroturf people living over there, squatting in our land, which have appointed my land unto their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a praise. See, this is what they're over there doing, spitefully living over there. Because of the war in Gaza, they've had to put off their Christmas celebrations, and now they're saying thousands have flocked over there to the nativity scene, and they just couldn't wait to have the Kris Kringle and the. This is why they got to get the hell up out of there, man. That land's got to get purged because they're spitefully over there, claiming it's theirs, and then committing all kind of sacrilege and abominations over there. Unbelievable. Delaware state trooper and suspect killed in the shooting at the DMV. We talked about last week and even weeks prior about, that first seal being opened and the red horse being revealed and death and peace being taken from the earth. And, as the days of Noah, so shall the days of the coming of the Son of Man going to be. They're eating and drinking and the earth being filled with violence. So we've seen mass shootings in colleges, at the DMV. We're seeing it at birthday parties. I mean, it's out there, right? So Delaware state trooper gets put to death. Holiday shootout, 2 cops shot and the suspect dead after gunfire erupted in a busy shopping center the day after Christmas. This is why, everybody got to be vigilant, head on the swivel. You never know what people is going through, what's on their minds, who or what type of spirit is on them, because clearly people are, starting to get a little bit more turned up. And as they say, pressure busts pipes, man. Financially, spiritually, we see people are all going through it, and people are really starting to, crack a bit. And the spirit has been let loose. We already know that the seal has been cracked, and we're seeing that the violence is going to start escalating even more and more. So be vigilant, protect yourself, stay prayed up, most of all. And I figured, I said, let me throw this in here, man. We see the big old joke that's going on with these Epstein files. We see thousands of pages being redacted. There's been some things that are slipped out that's really showing some foul stuff was going on. Nothing that we shouldn't really be surprised of. Everything that we was hearing is pretty much true. But this guy right here, he's standing on his. He saw this dude right here, Bill Clinton, man. The honorary black president. Y'all remember them Negroes was out there talking about, oh yeah, he's honorary black because he can play the saxophone and smoke weed and got head in the White House. That's a nigga for you. I mean, if that's the reputation that you want to stand behind as a so-called black man, like I don't want no parts of that. Get the F away from me. What the Department of Justice has released so far and the manner in which it did so makes one thing clear. Someone or something is being protected. We do not know whom, what, or why, but we do know this. We need no such protection. So a spokesperson for Bill Clinton is saying, I'm going to stand on what I got caught up in. I mean, everybody knows I'm a freak. Everybody knows I'm caught up, but the Clintons are so protected, man. The damn Dixie Mafia and him and Hillary, they can do no wrong. He's not even tripping. He's like, hey, everybody knows I'm a liar. Everybody knows I get, Remember when he said I smoked weed, but I didn't inhale? What? Remember he said, I did not have sex with that woman. And then comes out, yeah, you did, man. Sloppy toppy in the White House, man. You got to come clean. They got caught with their hands in the cookie jar over there in Haiti. The Clinton Foundation made off like bandits with like $50 million when Haiti had that earthquake. They pocketed that money. So he's standing on his dirt. He's like, look, the Department of Justice, man, they over here playing games with these files and, redacting stuff and all that. They're like, look, let's just let it all out. He ain't got much more time anyway. He figures, hey, you know what? How much can they persecute me for my dirt? And how much is it going to hurt who else is in there who currently has some power? Think about it. The rats is turning on each other, man. He's saying somebody's being protected, something's going on. We don't know who or why, but we don't need the protection. Go ahead and let it out. So Bill is he's standing on his business. Like, hey man, I'm on it. Y'all see me in the pictures. I'm there. Yeah. So, but show everybody else. They don't want to do that. No, listen to good old JD Vance, man, the VP.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
You know that's code. He's speaking in code to his white nationalist buddies. He's speaking in code, on Civil War terms, telling them, get prideful, step up. We got your back. You don't have to, hide behind hoods and masks no more. Civil War might be on the horizon. That was being flirted around for a while, 6-7 months ago. Now he's saying you don't have to make no apologies, man, for being who you are. Come on. That's virtue signaling. He's speaking in code. But watch the rest.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. And if you're an Asian, you don't have to talk around your skin color when you're applying for college, because we judge people based on who they are, not on ethnicity and things they can't control.
So like that woman that was taking a dump in the bathroom, pull your pants up, miss, didn't have a warrant, knocking on them doors, that wasn't about ethnicity. Wasn't a targeted raid. Here he is talking about you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. You don't have to skate around the fact that you're being Asian when you're applying to a college. Like, get the F out of here, man. And this was at that TP USA event where they was basically, eating each other alive, going at Ben Shapiro going at everybody else, Candace Owens going at whatever Charlie Kirk's widow. I didn't even watch the thing, but I'm seeing all the damn, commentators and all that talking about it. They basically said, man, it was an ish show where all of these particular, Republicans and conservatives, man, going at it with each other. They even had Nicki Minaj there. They paid her a meal ticket, gave her a meal ticket to go over there and endorse Donald Trump and stand behind Erica Kirk. And then they've been playing flashback videos of Charlie Kirk talking bad about Nicki Minaj, saying that she's not a role model. She shouldn't be, it isn't what little black girls should be looking up to and all that. And then she goes back, takes the little $1 million to go out there and fake endorse them after the damn dude done talk ish about you and your character and your morality. I mean, people will do anything for a little bit of change nowadays, man.
We don't persecute you for being male, for being straight, for being gay, for being anything. The only thing that we demand is that you be a great American patriot. And if you're that, you're very much on our team. In the United
So you have to be on the team, man. Pledge your allegiance. You got to submit yourself to the beast system. That's what they want. But notice the lie, though.
States of
He said they don't judge you based upon your ethnicity. Excuse me? Supreme Court said ICE can stop you based on race, accent, job, and location. JD, can you answer to this? You just said something quite opposite. We don't judge you by your ethnicity or what you look like. We don't care. What? You've got Supreme Court backing saying that they can stop you based on race, even if you have an accent, job, and location. White men speak with forked tongue, but when we call them the devil, oh, we're a hate group. Excuse me? Devil means a deceiver or a liar. Caught red-handed. No pun intended. Think layoffs have been bad this year? Bosses warn that job acts will swing for millions heads in 2026. I acknowledge that. I say, hey, 2026 is going to be very, very interesting. Lord willing, those of us who are working, Most High has mercy on everybody and maintains their income structures to maintain your household. But it's gonna be some rough waters next year. It's gonna be some rough waters, So prepare as best as you can. They're already acknowledging it. We know why. Robots, AI, economies is crushing small businesses. Inflation, you name it. A lot of people are gonna be out of work next year too. All right. I'm gonna say that particular article later for another time. That particular article that I just left off on that I didn't open up. It's talking about the unchurching of America, man. They're talking about a mass exodus of the churches. The churches are right now struggling. And I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna just do a separate little article or separate little episode on that and read through that article because this is why the churches are panicking. This is why the churches are running frantic and paying massive amounts of money to try to persuade, Israelites to stop teaching what they're teaching, to set up debates and trying to, salvage what they can because many of the people are leaving the church, man. And it ain't just because of the truth, but in that article, they do say something very interesting as to one of the reasons why people are leaving the church. It has everything to do with us being Israelites. I'm gonna share that with y'all. Most I will. I'll probably just do a quick little video on that. Probably one day next week. Most I permit. So keep your notifications on. We'll see how that goes. All right. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna close out. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. While y'all was side, man. To lot of everybody that stayed up and rolling out with me tonight. Friday Night Lights, man. I haven't done it in a minute. But all praises, man. And as always, in closing, always remember, man, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot the messenger. Till the next time, man. Shabbat shalom. See y'all again.